Welcome to Ingredient Insiders. I'm John Magazzino.
And I'm Andrea Parkins.
Thanks for watching this clip of our interview with Chef Robbie Felice.
For the full episode, find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Links in the description below.
I mean, you just called out, Brandt Beef, Lupara, Caputo, whatever it is, and that's all high quality ingredients. So I feel like if you match high quality ingredients with happiness, you get love.
Yeah.
And that's the recipe right there.
Nailed it.
Why do you want to talk about
Brandt Beef?
Brandt Beef. That Andrew and I were like, Brandt Beef.
I was like,
you don't want to talk about cheese or pasta or...
Robin's like, he wants to talk about Brandt Beef.
I love Brandt Beef.
I mean, it's great.
I'm a Holstein addict.
Totally.
Why Brandt?
Why Brandt? A bunch of different reasons. So I think for one, I'm a huge fan of the podcast, everyone you've had on. It was like there was a lot of weight on my shoulders coming in here, and Robin's asked me what do you want to talk about? I have to talk about the coolest thing. I want to get the most views. I want to make people laugh. What am I going to do? Oh, I got to find a new cool product. Robin, you got to find me something cool that no one else does. And then when it came down to it, it was over the past year, I did a meat tasting with Chef's Warehouse. They walked in and they laid out 30 different cuts of meat, and it was a great day. I ate more beef than I should have, but when we walked in, one of the guys that came in was like, that one's going to be your favorite. And you can't ruin things like that. If you do that, usually it's not going to be my favorite.
Right.
So, tasting some of the beef, tasting. We get to that steak, and Robin knows me like a T, to a T. And she knows the face I make when I'm I dance around the restaurant. I yell, scream, dance. I get so excited making food, making dishes. I'm a lunatic. They get me on video, and sometimes I'm delete that.
You can't. That one's not going on. You can't have that one. Yeah.
So she looked up at me and she saw the face and she was like, "That's the face we like that Robbie makes." And I was like, "Yo, it is so good. I need to know everything about this. I want to know. I want to talk to me. Tell me." I was like, "I don't even want to try the rest of them."
And this is after trying a bunch of other stuff.
30 or 40 steaks.
Yeah.
We had 3 cutting boards worth of meat, and I'm tasting, and this just blew everything. A light bulb.
I love this too. And the reason I want to interrupt is you got to taste products side by side by side.
If you're not doing a cutting, it doesn't matter if it's meat or tomatoes or olive oil. It does not matter. You're not doing your job as a chef.
I mean, if you send John there too, it makes it even better. Because when you do a tasting,
I just start storytelling.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about
this cow right here.
Bessie.
Yeah, literally.
She lived a good, long life.
So that's step one of falling in love. I fell in love with the product. I knew nothing about it. They could have told me this was on a mass-produced, disgusting, treated animals poorly, they're injected with whatever, and I picked that. Right. I knew nothing about the back end. They didn't really, maybe they drifted across the surface of what, hey, this is Brandt Beef, it's a Holstein cow. Okay,
from
great.
California, whatever. Right.
But I didn't really know. So then, me and Robin got on a call afterwards, and she started telling me more and more about it, and then I started doing my own research.
Was it textural? Was it flavor? Was it was it about it was so
texture,
good?
Flavor. It almost gives that when you bite into a dry aged steak, yes, you get that funky gorgonzola flavor, but you also get a texture and a feeling of soaked in cream, I usually call it. And I felt this Holstein beef had that. It's not dry aged. It's a regular steak. It's regular Brandt Beef, but it feels it's almost got that soaked in cream. It borderline melts in your mouth, and it just hit on so many notes. It was different. I love being different, as you guys can see. Anything I do, I want it to be different. If everyone's going right, I'm going left. So for you guys to bring in this and be hey, this is a different type of cow. Hey, this is a different type of beef. Then I liked it. I was yo, I'm sold. I'm obsessed with this. I don't even need to know more. But then to make things even better, you go on the website and the first video you see is one farm, one breed, one family, happy animals means a happy product, whatever. And after that, it was I would die for these people because that's exactly what I live for. And Robin knew that. So Robin was I do think Brandt is perfect for you. They really follow what you believe in, and I think it's a perfect product to talk about. And
it's also extremely timely. I was taken aback because I'm I figured you'd want to talk about something very Italian. The fact of the matter is that I've been lucky to go to Spain in the last couple of years and taste the beef there, which is the good stuff is retired dairy cattle, Holstein. Or similar breeds, the Vaca Vieja. It's the best steaks I've had in my life. I've probably said it 10 times on this podcast. Dan Barber, who we all know, recently talking, again, from a sustainability point of view, these dairy cattle live a good long life producing a lot of milk. And then after they stop producing milk, it's like, what do? Just throw them away, chop, pardon my French, but like kill the cow and then be done with it. And he's gotten literally in the last 2 months, I don't know if you've seen any of these posts, where he's like, this meat is spectacular. Like he's just figuring it out, even though in Europe they've been doing it for a long time. But it's like there's a purpose and a good use for these animals.
Absolutely.
Brandt has been around. I feel like we've had Brandt 20 years.
1940 something.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time. And in our world, they've come to, I remember when they came to us almost 20 years ago. Great product. People were always a little like, I got to have Angus. This and that.
Well, that's
it's a
why
dairy
I like
cow.
it more because it's different.
It's different. The flavor is really good.
Want to know
I feel like chefs don't know why they even want Angus. It's like that chef is using Angus.
Everyone follows what the other person does. And like, you know what I mean? I just want to push people to like, don't do what everyone else is doing. But I think that was my one turning point that I was almost like to Robin, like, oh, maybe I don't want it. And that she told me like, oh, everyone's starting to use it now. Yeah. Like it's on a lot of menus. I was like, don't tell me that. Come on, don't. Take it back. She was like, all right, fine. It's only on 2. And then like I start, shooting the shit with her and she's like, oh, they have it, which is cool. I love that for them. Yeah. And I mean, I think that was one of the biggest parts for me about Brandt was seeing how much they actually care about the animals. I have like a farm that's not really my farm, but I helped build it up. It's in Vernon, New Jersey. I do probably 4 or 5, 6 events a year on the farm. He raises all my pigs for all my charcuterie. If I want Mangalitsa, we get Mangalitsa. We raise Mangalitsa. He has a herd of Scottish Highlands. Very well versed with it. I do a lot on the farm, and he has 5 kids, younger kids, and he describes it perfect. People come on the farm and be like, "Oh my God, it's so crazy that you live around these animals and then you kill them." And he's like, the story I tell is they live the happiest, healthiest life. Look at them. They have one bad day. And that's how he tells his kids. And his kids are like fine with it and they're great. And, lately I've been having a lot softer side to it for animals. Yeah. Especially the ones that we're like eating. And I think they deserve that. So to go on the Brandt website and just instantly see these happy ass cows and like the videos that they have on there and hearing from all the owners, you could tell when someone's genuine. I teach that in my restaurant. Like, the servers, if you guys are genuine when you go out and talk to people at the table, like, I genuinely love this. I love this. This is how we do things. This is why. That goes. There's like a vibration that goes between humans. And when you have these people being interviewed on the Brandt website, whether it's like the old grandpa owner or the other owners, they're like literally speaking from the heart about how they feel. And it shows in the beef.
Absolutely. I mean, I know this is Angus. Do you watch Yellowstone?
I don't.
Really?
I don't watch TV.
You don't watch TV? Never mind.
TV.
All right, we'll cut this out.
Save me and John, no TV.
No time for TV.
We'd rather be out,
I've just learned a lot about ranchers, like through this process. And
he's in the gym.
I know. And I'm at home eating.
I don't even even know what I'm doing.
You're traveling.
And
I'm at home watching Yellowstone. Exactly. And, there's Piper Perabo, the actress? No. Okay.
Sorry. I do know Kevin Costner.
If you looked her
Kevin
up,
Costner's on that show.
She's like a vegan and she's trying to destroy the ranch. And he, teaches her why, what they're doing is exactly what you said. Like these cows, like she's like, oh, look what you're doing. You're traumatizing them because he's giving them vaccines when they're first born. And he was like, what do you think happens to you when you come out of your mother? He was like, you're in a warm place, then you're cold. They stick you on a metal pan and they weigh you. And then they have to wrap you up and they go through this whole thing. And I'm like, holy shit, like he's totally right. And I think if more people like understood the process, like they would appreciate it more and they would understand that it's not this like horrible thing that's like destroying the earth.
I mean, what the horrible thing is the mass-produced stuff that America does. Like, I love it. I love when, vegans, vegetarians, people that come in and don't eat for a certain reason, whatever it may be. Nothing against anyone, but like, look at the mass-produced meat that we eat, like just Google it. And the first pictures that come up, that should like haunt you.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to support a farm like Brandt that's doing things correctly, or to support restaurants that, you know, purchase things correctly and use the right products, I think we obviously as chefs in the restaurant industry have to go in that direction. Yep. But it's really cool that, you know, the company or the thing that I picked, Brandt, is fully behind all that.
How do you use it on your menu?
I was about to ask the same exact question.
Look at us.
I was going to say what cuts and which restaurant, what cuts.
Yeah, like tell us how you're.
What are you using, Brandt?
So Bar Mutz right now we have like a cowgirl ribeye, and that's like our ribeye for 2. I'm letting the meat shine. Like literally, we just like sear it, salt, pepper, like a little bit of herb butter, and we serve it with like potatoes. And
beautiful. Just
like letting it shine. Funny story. I had someone sit. We have like 2 seats that are like you're in the kitchen. Like you're like we have a sign that says prosciutto sprays. Watch out, because you're right on the slicer, and the slicer sprays prosciutto at you all night.
I need that.
Sounds like Andrea's
my house.
Don't
she'll keep her mouth open.
Well, that's what we tell people to do. And then obviously our chefs are fun, so we're constantly like throwing prosciutto out.
I need that seat.
She'll catch them with her mouth.
So we had someone sit there a couple nights ago, and he was like, "Oh, like I own a meat company. I do meat like distribution, whatever, you know, however he said it." And I was like, "Oh, like this is a brand called Brandt." And he's like, "Shit, like this is what I can't get my hands on because only certain people can distribute it." And that was like really cool. That was another one that was like, "Yes, I'm talking about it on a podcast in a little while." Yeah, like I got pumped about it. But yeah, so we're using the cowgirl ribeye. I'm also using this like other like super small weird cut that Robin found for me that I'm using for like a bruschetta. There's like little to no fat. I put L'Andemio olive oil on it and like, you know, Tuscan olive oil.
Or you do
crudo, raw.
So it's a tartare
raw.
Kind of thing, yeah.
And like, again, it's just like this beef is so sick that I just had to put it with the perfect L'Andemio olive oil, which is way too expensive right now, but I'm obsessed with them.
Okay.
But that little bit of like pickled shallot, we serve it on like your old school red sauce joint, like semolina bread crostini, obviously with like a couple more chefy touches. But I think it highlights the beef like so perfectly. And that's the 2, you know, new restaurant, 2 spots on the menu for Brandt Beef, probably at least.
Let's go sit in those 2 seats.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ingredient Insiders.
You can find the products we discussed on today's episode at chefswarehouse.com or your favorite specialty retailer.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Ingredient Insiders and Chef's Warehouse at Where Chefs Shop.